Welcome back, gamers. Rick here with Game Trade Media, coming to you from GenCon 2018 at Lucas Oil Stadium. I've got Chris here from Brotherwise Games to show us something that they've got going hot and heavy right now on Kickstarter. But before we do that, the exhibit hall where you came from, still crowded, packed.
Bananas. I don't know if it's 50th anniversary bananas, but it's pretty crazy. Still taking you a while to get across the hall just to use the facilities.
And the crowd, all the crowd that's over there, we're hoping they're starting to leak here. Let's take a look at the field and see what's going on down there. There's some bodies walking around. I still feel like everybody's shopping today to buy the games they're going to bring down here to play.
I think that's true. And there is in Hall B, the play halls, those are pretty packing right now. So there's a lot of events, and they've scheduled the events in different places. This will fill up for sure.
And it's just crazy to think that Gen Con has grown over these years to, come here to Indianapolis and now infest the stadium right next to the and it's growing even beyond that.
I think that in a few years we're just going to be staying in people's homes and playing games in their living rooms. We're just going to move right out into town.
Not a bad idea. Now tell us a little bit about this fun game you've set up for us. What is this called?
This is Call to Adventure.
Call to Adventure.
Call to Adventure.
I need a call to adventure.
Everyone needs a good call to adventure every now and then. This was inspired by, and I think this may ring true to a lot of your viewers. When we were kids, my brother and I, we were constantly making D&D characters. Constantly. I had a sheaf of D&D characters this big. All of them unplayed. We loved making the games. We just never were able to get a game together and play them. So if you're one of those folks who just loves the hero creation side of RPGs, this game for you. It's a hero crafting game. The goal is you're telling a hero's story over the course of the game. You start with an origin for each hero, a motivation for each hero, and a destiny for each hero. The origin gives you some starting abilities. The motivation gives you some further ability to tweak the game. And your destiny actually provides your win conditions for the game. Each of these is unique, so every combination that you start with, there's multiples of these starting cards. Every story is going to start different.
Nice.
And then over the course of the game, you're trying to create the hero with the greatest destiny. So as you go on, you might start with an alkalite who has a point of wisdom and a point of charisma. And you may decide to pick up a trait like spiritual here, and you'd slide that under your card, and now you have a spiritual alkalite who has both point of charisma, but now 2 points of wisdom.
Nice.
Now those ability runes matter because as you face challenges, for instance, let's say we wanted to face this challenge here, the Raging Inferno. There's 2 paths you could take. You could choose to heal the wounded, which you would then gain a point of wisdom from, and you might choose to survive the flames and come out of it with a point of constitution. For both of those, you cast runes instead of dice to see what your successes are. So you have all the basic runes, but because of my 2 points of wisdom here, I'm going to add in 2 points of wisdom runes.
Nice.
I need to roll. There's a difficulty value for each challenge. I'm trying to roll that and see what I get in terms of successes. On this one, I rolled 3 successes. I would have failed the challenge.
Wow.
But if I feel like a challenge is sort of beyond my means, I can choose to push my luck with these dark runes. So the dark runes you purchase with experience, which is sort of the coinage of the game, and those are some prototype tokens that we don't have with us today. But you gain experience over the game if you fail things or if you meet one of the requirements for your abilities. And if I spend those and add in a darkness rune, then I can add that there, and now I have many more. I've got more power there. Unfortunately, though, if I roll the darkness side of the darkness rune, then I move down the darkness track, and I could potentially lose points and lose the ability to cast certain spells. Spells in the game are called Twists of Fate. There are hero cards, and there are anti-hero cards. Hero cards pump up your ability to tackle challenges and to do things. Anti-hero cards you use to mess with other players' ability to do that. So it's really fun. It's based on sort of the tropes of sort of the heroic journey. Call to Adventure, some of your viewers may recognize is coming from the hero's journey, which is sort of like the standard basis for Western heroic fiction. And so all these things, they feel really familiar to all of us. And it's a lot of fun. Over the course of the game, as you gather more of these abilities, your hero starts to grow and develop. and they start to take on a story. So now I've got a spiritual acolyte who had an experience where they ended up healing the wounded and finding out they had some arcane ability.
That's super cool.
I mean, you just see how that story comes together. It's super cool. You can pick up allies. So in this case, maybe our acolyte has a mentor. We add the mentor to our tableau, and now we've got another thing that we can spend experience on to affect our roles.
Interesting.
That's fun.
And this was, so if, how many players is this?
This is 2 to 4.
2 to 4. So if I'm playing and you're playing, we'd each have a setup like this in front of us.
We do. We've each got a tableau, and what I like to describe it as, it's kind of like Splendor with adventure.
Okay.
So it's an engine builder like Splendor, where the more of these things you get, the more you're aiming for other things that might be similar or might be in that same thematic vein. There are these story icons, which a little bit like Seven Wonders. The more of these story icons you pick up, the more points they're worth.
Okay.
And so the game there's some different paths to victory. One of those being I can focus on my story thread rather than sort of my point thread.
Interesting. And like we already said, this is currently on Kickstarter.
This is currently on Kickstarter. We've got about, I don't know, only about 10 or 11 days left.
Okay.
If you back on Kickstarter, we're currently partnering with author Patrick Rothfuss, who's author of the Name of the Wind books, the King Killer Chronicles. The first expansion in this series is going to be based on his books.
Wow!
So you can build a hero in that world. You know, you can build a hero who's traveling alongside Kavoth, who's the protagonist of that story. You can go to the university. You can train with the Adim. All the things that you can do in those stories, you'll be able to do there.
Okay.
Future expansions are all planned around other famous fantasy authors, but we're also it's sort of an infinitely expandable thing. We're looking at sci-fi versions of this. We're looking at horror versions. So the story you tell and the hero you build, that can happen in the world you want it to in the future.
Nice. That's very cool.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in Kickstarter right now, but the main reason to visit that is just to learn more about the game. We have some playthrough videos up there, so if you just go to Kickstarter and search for Call to Adventure, it'll pop right up.
Now, if someone should catch this video later and they miss the Kickstarter, when will this be available at the retail level?
This will be available in November, and we should point out there is a retailer pledge on there.
Okay, great.
It's limited, because it's just a Kickstarter. It's a short one. It's mainly to get the word out about the game, but it'll be available in stores in November, and we're hoping to ship in time for the holiday season.
Perfect. And this looks like it's going to be just about the right size to be an amazing stocking stuffer.
Well, the box is actually pretty big. It is. So we're sizing it to hold future expansions.
Okay.
So the box is actually about a 15-inch tall box, believe it or not.
You have not seen my stockings.
I don't know, man. That's a big stocking. I like that though. But no, it's sized to hold the sleeve cards. Sleeves are one of the things you can add on to the Kickstarter right now. There's a playmat. All of these things we should have available at retail though later on.
Okay, perfect.
We're trying to keep the exclusives very slight on this one.
All right. And now if anybody wants to find out more about Brotherwise Games and all the other games that you guys are putting out there, where can they go to find that information?
So they can go to brotherwisegames.com.
Okay.
We are sold everywhere Alliance sells games, which is pretty much everywhere.
Which is everywhere.
So your friendly local game store should have us or should be able to easily get us.
Okay.
And we encourage you to shop there. So if you really want to, you can go to our online store, but we'd prefer you went to your friendly local game store and bought the game from them.
That's what a great answer. And also follow them on all the other social media platforms. I'm sure if you go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those, and put in Brotherwise Games, they're right there.
We're right there.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Chris.
Thanks for having me on. It's good to see you again.
Always. Well, this for everybody out there. This is the first time we've been able to get on camera together, and I'm hoping that this isn't the last time.
It won't be.
Yeah, we got to make it.
I will be better with my email.
Well, not just that. We got to get you maybe come to Baltimore.
Yes.
And then let's play all your games.
Absolutely. I would love that.
That'd be a blast.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. We'll be back later. I'm Rick. This is Game Trade Media, and this is Chris.
Bye.
We'll see you at the game store.
Thanks for watching Game Trade Media. Make sure to leave us a like and click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new content.